Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Big Detroit home danger. Just yesterday morning, there was a huge house behind me that was causing problems in this neighborhood. Now, because of a Help Me Hank report, it has been brought down. We're live on the west side.
And just in tonight, the CDC says there may be a breakthrough in what's caused hundreds of vaping-related injuries across the country.
But we begin with a whole lot of rain marching its way into Metro Detroit right now on 4 Live Radar.
Yeah, just look at the radar there. We know it's a big night for high school football. We want to get right over to Ben and see what is the latest. Hey, Ben.
Yeah, guys, we had so much good stuff earlier this week, and now we get to the weekend and we see pretty much the worst of our weather. And unfortunately, it's going to be a soaker tonight, so it is going to be tough to get these games in. In addition to the rain, though, you can see it here on 4 Live Radar that we're watching lightning strikes in some spots. Nothing strong or severe. But anytime you're going to be outside, especially with the kids and the gear on those football fields, you've got to be watching out for those lightning strikes. Local Forecasters app will show you exactly where those strikes are in relation to where you are, so you can keep everybody safe. But look at this rain that's back here across southern portions of Michigan. It's a lot heavier there, around 80, 90, and getting further south, that's when we're seeing more thunderstorms. Flash flood watches have been posted at least for parts of Michigan and Indiana. So temperatures tonight in the 70s, but it's going to be off and on downpours through the night and into the weekend. We'll talk more about your Saturday, Sunday in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, Ben, our other top story tonight, police say a man was shot and killed over a post on Facebook.
Yeah, this all happened at a home on Lamont, just across the street from a school in the area of 7 Mile and Ryan on the east side. Tim Pamplin was on the scene as police had to defuse a tense situation.
A desperate scene on Lamont Street this afternoon. A man faints after hearing one of his relatives has been killed. I'm being told this all stems from a Facebook post. 2 men approach the house, force their way inside, shoot the young 23-year-old dead. This happening right across the road from Legacy Charter Academy here on Hilldale. Detroit police are out now at this hour looking for those 2 men, again, who forced their way into this home, shooting and killing a 23-year-old young man sitting inside the residence here. Homicide detectives just arriving on the scene. They ask if you have any information about this killing, please do give them a call. That's the scene on the east side this afternoon. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
All right, Tim. Day 12 of the UAW strike on General Motors. And after a busy few days of headlines, talks continue to heat up. Here's what we know as of now. A good sign that talks did go late into the night last night, as we've said all week. They're getting closer when these marathon talks begin. Right now, both sides were at the table today. It's important to note that if a deal isn't reached this weekend, the strike will hit a critical point, and that's strike pay kicking in for UAW workers on day 15. But it's only $250 a week. We are going to keep working our sources through the weekend, and we'll have updates throughout as we get them.
Tonight, there's a potential breakthrough in uncovering what's caused hundreds of people injuries and illnesses from vaping. The CDC says about 77% of people sick reported using THC products. Based on the findings, the CDC is advising people to consider not using THC vape products. There's no single product connected to all the cases. The CDC, though, is investigating and continuing its investigation.
New information tonight after a 2-year-old girl is found wandering the streets of Detroit.
The child's parents came to pick her up 8 hours after she was found. Tonight, the mother and an alert neighbor are speaking to our Larry Spruill as questions surround what really happened.
Neighbors here tell me they saw that little 2-year-old girl walking up and down Appeline Street late Thursday night. Now, they say they did not see her parents, so one neighbor watched her until police arrived. She says the little girl was crying and she knew she had to do something.
Got a knock at my door saying, "Is this your little girl?" No, it's not my daughter, but give her here.
Joanna Faulkner tells me it's a knock on the door she was not expecting, but when she saw little 2-year-old Samaria Morgan at her doorstep by herself, her motherly instincts kicked in.
I called the police at 9:02. She was scared, so I gave her a cookie, gave her my grandson's sippy cup.
But Faulkner and police did not know who she belonged to and why she was walking by herself at night, so they brought her to the police station. A little more than 8 hours later, our cameras rolling when her parents walked in, saying they were here to pick up their daughter.
She was in the house when we left there. She was in the house sleeping. That's why I don't understand how she got outside. She told me she
Her mother tells me her 2-year-old fell asleep earlier that day after celebrating her birthday. They also went to sleep not knowing that little Samaria walked outside.
And I got a phone call from her granny because I guess she was watching the news.
What would you say, I guess, to people who may be questioning your parenting skills, perhaps?
I would tell people to mind their business, and I take care of mine. That's my daughter. She's 2. I love my baby. This is just something that happened that is not going to happen again.
We did learn that the parents had to meet with the judge this afternoon. Meanwhile, Child Protective Services is investigating. Reporting on the Detroit's West Side tonight, Larry Spruill, Local 4.
President Trump continues to attack the whistleblower and those who revealed information to the whistleblower about a phone call with the Ukrainian president. It's that phone call that's now led to an impeachment inquiry. Democrats are moving quickly on that investigation as Republicans question its validity. Alice Barr is in Washington tonight with all the latest.
Jason, Democrats in Congress are pushing forward, hoping to finish their impeachment inquiry before the election year begins. Tonight, a White House official is confirming one of the most significant allegations in the whistleblower complaint against President Trump, that notes of a seemingly routine call between the president and the leader of Ukraine were moved to a system normally reserved for the nation's most sensitive secrets. That comes as both parties are trying to find out who gave information to the whistleblower. Democrats hoping for testimony in their impeachment inquiry.
We know there are many other witnesses to this conduct that we need to bring in.
Republicans looking for evidence of political bias.
There's questions there, and certainly didn't have any firsthand knowledge, and yet the Democrats are going to move ahead with impeachment?
The whistleblower accuses President Trump of pressuring the president of Ukraine to investigate Democratic rival Joe Biden and his son. A White House official tells NBC News National Security Council lawyers directed that classified notes from the call be, quote, handled appropriately. But the whistleblower suggests the White House tried to cover it up.
I don't think it's part of the president's job to shake down leaders of other countries using taxpayer dollars to have them do something that is in his political benefit.
President Trump pushing back in a new battery of tweets today. Yesterday, speaking to diplomats and their families, he compared the sources of the whistleblower complaint to spies and hinted at capital punishment. This video obtained by Bloomberg News.
You know what we used to do in the old days when we were smart, right? With spies and treason, right? We used to handle it a little differently than we do now.
Those words stoking concern. The president is discouraging others.
All right, Alice, and there's a Detroit representative making headlines of her own tonight surrounding the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. Paula Tutman's working on that story for 5:30. Paula?
Is this a T-shirt you would wear? How would you explain it to your children? That's what constituents of Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib are talking about today with her new fundraising campaign.
Well, he saw the flames, jumped out of his car, and became a hero. Tonight, we're hearing from a man who rescued 2 women as a fire at a Detroit seniors apartment complex spread. Priya Mann is live at the apartments on the city's east side. And Priya, he didn't think twice about running into that burning building.
Yeah, Kim, Terrell Whaley says he barely had time to park his truck, but he knew there were just moments here. When you see the extent of the damage that this fire caused, you know how dangerous this situation was. Before firefighters could get here, one brave Detroiter jumped into action.
Somebody could have died. I could have died, you know. I didn't know a soul in that building. I saved 2 people.
Terrell Whaley was driving to his mom's house to check up on her when he saw the fire starting to spread at the elderly center on Mac.
I barely put my truck in park, ran straight to the building. Something told me to see if I can get somebody out, save somebody.
He saw a few seniors evacuating and knew others on the 2nd and 3rd floors might need help.
I heard somebody say, "Get Miss Rose, get Miss Rose." So I scooped her up, you know, ran her down the stairs, took her, put her on the lawn.
He didn't have time to talk to her before running back into the burning building.
And one lady, I think she had like a cane. I set her on the porch across the street. Yeah.
After rescuing 2 women in their 70s, Terrell says the fire had engulfed the top 2 floors.
The adrenaline pumping, see who I can save, make sure everybody out the building. I figured I had enough time to help them. I'm gonna help them.
At least 50 units were destroyed in the fire Monday evening. About 200 seniors lost their belongings, but some lives were saved by the quick thinking of strangers. Would you call yourself a hero?
I don't know. Normal. I'm normal.
Yeah, just normal is what he says. I think it's safe to say we will all call him a hero. And you know what? Heroic actions run in his family. Take a look at this. This is a picture of his dad, Frederick. And a few years ago, Frederick actually saved a few neighbors from a home that was on fire. He rescued 3 people. He did pass away a few years ago, but Terrell says he believes his dad was guiding him Monday evening when he drove by this senior apartment complex. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Absolutely. Runs in the family. Priya, we appreciate it. I do have one question, though. We've been reporting that investigators believe the fire was accidental. Do we know what caused it now?
Yeah, so witnesses are telling investigators that they saw somebody who had a barbecue pit going. It was an extremely windy day. Some of those embers caught onto this building, and then, of course, that fire spread quickly. But at this time, investigators do believe this was an accidental fire. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Priya, thanks.
But nobody hurt, thanks to guys like that.
Yeah.
Much more to come on a Friday edition. The state is taking to the air to help stop the spread of Triple E.
New tonight, what will happen this weekend in 14 Michigan counties? It's hoping to stop the spread of this potentially deadly disease. Doc.
Back to school illnesses are still going strong, but something else is also causing a lot of problems. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, I'll explain how the weather is making what's going around even worse.
And Doc, we're live here on the west side. You can see the backhoe in place, but the blighted house that was once behind me, it is now gone, and neighbors in this neighborhood are thrilled. Help Me Hank live right after the break.